and welcome to this Transcribe Right tutorial. I'm the Sonia half of Claire and Sonia, and today I want to take you through a few scenarios for using the word language setting. We've been looking at this setting in Lesson 1 of Module 2, and there are a few different ways that you can use this language setting to help with your transcripts. Let's look at Scenario 1. In Scenario 1, you are a US-based transcriptionist with a Oneoff Australian audio file to transcribe. So in this scenario, I would probably use an existing template that I have set up, and I would change the language setting just for this template, for this transcript that I'm going to do. To do that, after I've opened up the template I'll be using for this transcript, I'm going to select all to select the entire template and make sure that the changes I'm about to make take effect for everything typed in it. Then we go over to Tools and we select Language, and you can see that at the moment it's set up to English US spelling, and so I will change that to English Australian spelling. Then down here, this little checkbox, you want to make sure that that stays unchecked. You do not want to skip doing the spelling and the grammar checked on the transcript when you've finished it. So make sure that stays unchecked, and if you're in a document that you've had to change and that is checked, uncheck that box, untick it, and then select OK. So now when I type into this template, I can type words the way that an Australian would type them, or if I forget myself and I accidentally type them American spelling, then they will highlight in this transcript, and I'll be able to run the spelling checker over at the end of the job and make corrections. And so on. So that's Scenario 1, where it's just a one-off transcript that you need to change the language setting on. Okay, in Scenario 2, let's have a look at that one. In this scenario, I'm an Australian-based transcriptionist with a Canada-based client. So as I've picked up a permanent client who's going to be sending me a lot of audio files for me to transcribe, rather than going through the process of changing the language setting every time I need to prepare a transcript for this client, it would be better for me just to set up a template for this client that has the correct language spelling selected on it. So I would probably take an existing template that I have, and once again, if you select all, just select everything in that template and make sure that the change you're about to make affects everything in the template. Then go to Tools and select Language, and here we can see I've got it set to Australian English. I want to change it to Canadian and click OK. And now all I need to do is save this into my templates folder with a name that makes it very clear that I have different language setting on this template to my other ones, so that I make sure I use this template for my clients. So I'll click Save As, and in my templates folder I'll save this as Can for Canada, Q and A template. Make sure that I select the Word template format down the bottom and click Save. So now whenever work comes in for this Canadian-based client, I will transcribe their audio files into the template that I have set up, and I can be confident that I do all the correct spelling for their transcripts. Okay, so now let's have a look at Scenario 3. So in Scenario 3, I've picked up a client who's based in the US, and I've prepared a transcript for them, and they've sent it back to me and they've said, this is a really great transcript except some of the words are spelt funny. Can you fix that for me? So what I want to do here is, obviously what I've done is I've typed up this transcript for my US based client with the Australian language setting switched on. So I'll need to change it to US language setting, and then I'll be able to do a spelling and grammar check on the transcript, and it'll pick up the misspelled words so that I can make corrections. So I open the previously prepared transcript, and again I select all. We go up to Tools and select Language, and you can see it's currently set to English Australian, so I'll change it to English US. Double check and make sure that that box remains unticked. Click on OK. Then what I'll do is I'll run the spelling check over this document so that it can pick up any errors. So Tools, Spelling and Grammar, and I'll just untick the check grammar box for the transcript because I'm just trying to capture the spelling mistakes that have occurred between the spelling differences between the two countries. So straight away you can see generalisation has come up and been flagged. In Australia we spell it with an S, and in the US it is spelled with a Z. So we'll change that, and off it goes and finds the next misspelled word for me, and I can change it. And then this way there's a word that I can add to my dictionary. This way I can go through and correct the spelling in that transcript. Aubergine, that's interesting, so apparently aubergine's not in the US dictionary language for my word currently. We'll just add that in. But that's what you'll do. That's the quickest, easiest way to get the language changed over and make sure that the transcript you're presenting for your client in another country is correct and meets all their needs. So there you have it. That's 3 different ways that you can use the language setting in Word, and those 3 different ways will help you work from anywhere, anytime you want, anywhere in the world, as long as you have internet connection. Thank you for joining me for this tutorial, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye.